Titans on the beat.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Nati with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And I'm going to be giving you guys a reaction to the 15-30 loss by the Washington football team, who were up against the Arizona Cardinals this week. And sadly, my prediction earlier in the week was actually correct, and the Cardinals did pull away with the W. I thought it was going to be a much closer game than it ended up being, but nah. The Cardinals definitely whooped you know what for the Washington football team. And Kyler Murray is special, man. I've been saying this throughout the offseason. I thought that he was a legit real life MVP and fantasy MVP candidate to start the season, and I'm sticking to that right now. He hasn't really shown anything for me to move away from that prediction. He's just really legit, man. Even if you think you have contain on him, he just finds a way to scramble around the pocket and just go for touchdowns. And he did that twice this week. And even through the air, he was pretty good. He wasn't exceptional through the air, but kept finding DeAndre Hopkins, kept finding all his receivers. Kenyon Drake had a pretty good game for Arizona, even though Washington earlier in the game did bottle him up somewhat. And with our team, the Washington football team, it was just a bad showing. Dwayne Haskins, man, like, I think all of us are really rooting for him. He's a local product. He's a second-year quarterback. Was really thrown into the fire last year. Wasn't really given the right opportunity. And this year doesn't have all the weapons. Doesn't have the best offensive line in front of him. But at the same time, I think we can admit that he had a terrible game while also admitting he doesn't have weapons around him. Admitting that the offensive line didn't play up to par. We can admit all those things, right? I don't think it's mutually exclusive. Like, I think we can admit all those things, and he just wasn't sharp today. There was a couple of throws where you couldn't really blame the offensive line. He just missed guys. He missed Dontrell Inman on one pass. He missed Logan Thomas, who had the ball sort of on his fingers, but at the same time, if the ball was placed a little bit better, would have been a first down. And that happened throughout the game. He did end up with 220 yards and a touchdown, which is great for him. And that touchdown did come later in the game when Arizona was pretty much cushioning on defense and wasn't really playing as aggressive as they were in the beginning of the game, but at least on defense, right? Offensively, they were playing aggressive throughout the game, but Dwayne Haskins did get a touchdown then. And I guess the two bright spots, in my opinion, were Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. Terry McLaurin finished the game with 7 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. Scary Terry, right? He just, no matter how bad the team is around him, he just continues to produce. And I think he's going to be a top 10 receiver in this league very shortly. I really believe he has all the tools, as the announcer said on the game. He has the speed, the catching, the route running, everything you want in a receiver. Antonio Gibson, the rookie this year, who a lot of people were, I wouldn't say a lot, but some people were doubting coming into the season just because we didn't really see much of him. I thought he was a Alvin Kamara type back, and I don't think he will be, again, Alvin Kamara anytime soon, but he was pretty good today. He showed, a lot of solid run plays. He only had like 50 yards for a touchdown. That might not be as impressive as it was to actually see him today, but if you actually saw him, he put out like some good runs. That touchdown run was very, very, very impressive. So I think those two guys are definitely building blocks for our team in the future. Other than that, offensive line, Brandon Sheriff went out earlier in the game, and he went out with a knee injury. He was eventually out for the game, and I'm a little worried there. One, because he has an injury, right? And he's our best offensive lineman. And two, because he is on the franchise tag. And I hope that's not the last snap that we see of Brandon Sheriff. I really hope it's not, and I really hope he recovers soon. And even beyond that, I hope he does get that long-term extension. But offensive line, especially the left side of the line, was not great tonight. We didn't give up 8 sacks like the Eagles did last week, but at the same time, you could sense the pressure was always on Dwayne Haskins almost every single snap. And yeah, just a disappointing loss, man. Really disappointing loss. I do want to say something else. Towards the end of the game, I think a lot of us saw us who were still watching the game, right? That clock management situation towards the end of the fourth quarter, and us not calling any one of our timeouts and actually leaving the game with all 3 of our timeouts still intact. I don't know about that. That's something that definitely is on the coaching staff. Well, I don't blame this entire loss on the coaching staff, because I think the players are largely at fault. Ron Rivera, maybe at the end, I still don't understand that thinking. Maybe you guys could talk about it in the comments why he did that, but maybe he didn't want to get anybody injured because there were so many players that were injured across the league. I don't know. I want to see our offense drive down the field more and even carry that momentum into next week. I don't know, just have some momentum, right? But it is what it is. Landon Collins definitely did redeem himself. There was a miscue earlier in the game where he inexplicably gave up a touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins. I think there were two guys there that just didn't guard D Hop, and he got the touchdown. But later he did get that interception, which didn't turn into any points, right? Because there was that forced fumble at I think the 5 yard line. We were on the drive, we were about to score a touchdown or at least a field goal, and no points there. And that was pretty much what the game was, right? Just no points. We didn't score until I think it was the second half, and we scored a field goal, right? We didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, I believe. So yeah, just an awful showing by the team. On to the next game, playing the Browns. I think I think the Cardinals game this week was very disappointing. I think next week is definitely the game where it'll really determine where we're at, actually. It'll determine where we're gonna go this season and if my preseason prediction of 6 or 7 wins ultimately is the case, or if we even get less wins than that or more. I mean, next week is gonna be the real test. Because it's not an overpowered team. Like the Cleveland Browns aren't an overpowered team. They don't have an MVP candidate at quarterback, but it's gonna be an interesting test next week for sure. They do have weapons, so Washington better be aware. It sucks that we didn't have Kendall Fuller tonight. Hopefully we have him next week, man. That's a huge loss. Our cornerback one, the guy we signed $40 million over 4 years for, and he hasn't played the last 2 games. Hopefully he returns, man. Hopefully he returns. It's gonna be big next week against all those offensive weapons in Cleveland. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up their video. A disappointing loss, really disappointing. I thought it would be at least closer than this, but Cardinals just pulled away, and you can't really say anything about that. On to next week. Hopefully we get a W next week, and I'll definitely dive into it in my preview video soon to come. So I think it'll probably be Thursday morning. We'll see. But that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching on this very much downer of a Sunday. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to this channel. It would be greatly appreciated as we try to post fire content as much as possible on here about our Washington football team and all other teams in the DMV. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and peace.